morning and welcome.
Hi, Ivan, and thank you very much for that warm welcome.
Thank you. So what inspired you to take on the role of principal judge for Miss Namibia?
You know what? I'm going to tell you the truth, and it fell into my lap.
It fell into your lap. Okay, that's a good one.
Umbi and I have been coming together for a number of years, and before she took over as the CEO of the Miss Namibia organization, I had been on the panel before, not as principal judge, but in the pre-selection phase. Way back then, we actually had two different panels of judges for selections. And then I started off there when I started off at Republikein way back then, because it has been more than 20 years now already that I've been in the media industry. And at that stage, Republikein had actually been one of the partners. And from there, it just evolved. And Umbi and I have a fantastic working relationship. And I think we get each other.
So I know some people, when they're watching the beauty pageant, they say, but I think it's favoritism. What are some of the key qualities you and the panel look for in the potential Miss Namibia?
So thankfully, all of us have a different background, and there are often some of the judges are involved in the beauty industry as it is, because the truth is, it is a beauty pageant. We have to disclose ahead of time if we know anybody. So is there favoritism? No. And we check out who knows if there is anybody that knows someone on that are part of the entrance. So what we're looking for is an all-rounder. We're looking for someone that has beauty and intelligence and has just that wow factor. And it doesn't matter which judge. Yeah, well, that helps if you know how to strut your stuff. But the reality is, most of the time, all of us on the panel see that wow factor immediately. So it's you may have one that's a little more favorite here or so, but generally the wow factor is there for us from the get-go.
Speaking about fairness, how do you ensure fairness and objectivity during the judging process?
So generally, I mean, everyone has their own tastes, but that is why we're a whole panel. So we discuss it all, we look at the different contestants, and we look at each of them has their own individual stories. So I feel from the judges panel side, because it's not just one person who has the decision, it's 5 or more of us. So it's also an uneven number to make sure that if there is a draw, that we do know that the principal judge will make the call. But generally, I feel the process is really fair, and I know people out there don't always think so, and because they have their favorites too. The thing is, come and sit there a little bit, and you'll see what it's like. It is really, you're in the hot seat just as much as the contestants are.
Speaking about the hot seat, can you take us through on a typical judging day, you know, how it looks like for a judge behind the curtains?
Ivan, I'm not sure if the contestants are more nervous than we are. Because it is a challenge. You have to find someone that the nation loves as well, and who represents the nation. So a typical day would actually start almost an hour earlier than we see the ladies for the first time. We discuss all the rules and regulations from the international pageants, because that is obviously a major part of the whole process in selecting your contestant. And we get to know each other as well. Some of us do know each other from behind the scenes and from previous years and from the industry, but a lot of us meet each other for the first time then. So we have to find that cohesion between the whole panel as well. So that's the first part. Then we start welcoming the girls. Sorry, I don't want to call them girls because they are really intelligent ladies. Then we start meeting them and we go through the process. We interview every single one of them. We have a designated time. We have a number of questions. Generally, we don't want to trap the girls into questions that they can't answer because they are nervous as it is to begin with. However, if we see that you are, for example, you're a tourism student, we are going to ask you what's your favorite part of Namibia and how would you market it internationally. But the idea is not to stress them out. Then thereafter, we have all of them lined up together in their swimsuit because we need to look at their bodies. That is an important aspect for the stage as well. And then as much as we don't want to acknowledge it, the truth is you have to be tall to stand out literally and figuratively on the international stage.
In your opinion and experience, what makes Miss Namibia pageant different from any other in the African continent?
So I've just had a quick talk with one of our previous contestants behind the scene, and I was telling her about what makes our competition really unique is that we have young ladies from so many different cultures. And we all come together under one nation. And I find that makes us truly unique. Added to that, what I have heard from the ladies from behind the scenes, they often make sisters and friendships for life. Where at international pageants, there is a lot of cattery and nastiness and serious competition. Namibians generally are these beautiful, friendly people, and we want to give each one their chance in the sun. So I find that is what makes us unique, our diverse cultures and our friendliness.
How has the competition evolved over the years, especially in terms of empowering women?
So in terms of evolve, you're not going to believe it. We were discussing it with our first round earlier this week. The pageant is 45 years old this year, if you can believe it. So physically, we've moved through the decades of fashion as well, from the poofy hairs of the 80s and the slick back hair of the 90s, and then so physically it has changed as well. I mean, I don't know if you're probably too young for the shoulder pads, Ivan, but I mean, way back then it was the case. For the young ladies themselves, if I look at how they have changed, I find that the contestants are a lot more aware of their environment, and they are a lot better prepared, and they make sure that they have background training, they prep their photos, they make sure that they are very presentable when they sit in front of us as a panel.
Has there been any contestant particularly that stood out over the years, and why?
Oh, there have been many. And I think why they stand out to me is because they have become leaders in their specific sectors. If I think of Desiree London Miller, she was in the 80s. I mean, she runs the Katuka Mentorship Program, which is a fantastic platform to empower other girls again, or other young ladies. And she's in the media industry as well. Odile Gatse is absolutely amazing. She's also a face that I think many Namibians will recognize just through her work on air, off air, behind the scenes. So she is one of my favorites. I loved Patricia Hoeksema, who was chosen Miss Namibia post Michelle McLean. Obviously, Michelle McLean is one of those women as well. I mean, she's an absolute powerhouse, and she is still very visible locally and internationally. But in the early 2000s, there was this beautiful girl, Anna Nashandi. I absolutely adored her. She wowed me right from the get-go. Yeah.
What advice would you give a young woman in Namibia who dreams, to enter in the pageant one day and saying, look, I see myself, what can I do? How do I train? How do I prepare myself to get there?
Lots of work. And I know many people often think, oh, how much work can you put in? But Albertina and I were just talking behind the scenes. It's hard work. You must be prepared for when you get there. So start working at yourself when you are 18. Don't enter then. I've noticed throughout the years, the ladies that are older always do better. It's because they have more life experience, they've put more effort into their general knowledge, they know about current affairs. So that, I would say, is very important. You do need to know about current affairs. You do need to go to
so it's just not beauty, it's also brains.
Oh, it counts a lot. You need to be eloquent. You need to understand the beauty industry. You need to you must remember that you are going to deal with people that are grassroots level, and you are going to be meeting the president. So you are involved with all walks of society. But physically, you need to get into the competition first. You need to make sure you have stunning photos. Make sure you have professional photos, because that is your first step. Yeah.
Lastly, what message would you like to share with Namibians on the importance of Miss Namibia? For some people just say, well, it's just a beauty pageant. I mean, some ladies walking down. How important is an event like this?
I think it is a fantastic opportunity for nation building. It really brings together people from all walks of life, like I said earlier as well. And it's a message of positivity. And our young ladies have done fantastically on an international level. We are still aiming for those crowns. And I think now with our Honourable President in the hot seat, being a woman, being one of the few women internationally now, is the perfect time for Namibia to shine even more on the global stage.
Any final remarks?
Ladies, enter. It's very stressful, but it is loads of fun, and you will have an unforgettable experience.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hoff. And
thank you, Ivan.
I know this year is going to be bigger, better, and the people at home don't need to worry because NBC is going to cover the entire event, so they will not miss a single thing. Yes,
it'll be fantastic, and we hope to see you up in the north in July. And I'm already looking for an outfit. I don't know if you're there as well.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Ivan.